From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claimed to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One giant leap for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. We don't take days off because reptilians don't take days off. Recording a little bit later. Had a couple of issues, but we're here to record something for you guys because we kind of love yous.
I mean, yeah. This isn't lively. It still goes out in the morning.
I know.
They don't know what time it is.
No, they don't. But I just want them to know that we put the time in, we put effort in.
You're looking brown.
I feel brown. I've actually sunburnt my back. I was in the hot tub for an hour this afternoon, and I've been out in the sun like every day for the past like 2 weeks.
Do you know what I've found out recently? And I struggle to get a tan. I just go red. But I found out that I mean, I've got a ginger beard. Some might say that this has got some strawberry blonde in it. I could be black. You heard that? That if you're ginger, you could possibly be black. There is a new trend.
I don't know
Have
what
you not
you're
heard
saying,
this?
but
You've never heard this.
I'm pretty
trend?
sure it's highly racist.
No, there is. I agree. It seems racist, doesn't it? There is a trend on TikTok and all these places right now where if you're ginger, apparently you are black.
I don't understand what you're saying to me. I understand the words. I understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. But I don't understand the sentence they're making.
I mean, I thought you might be up on this, but clearly not.
No.
So I don't even have a clip ready. I don't even have a clip ready for you. But if you type it in, it's a thing.
What am I typing? Gingers are the new black. Ginger is the new black.
No.
Yeah. Sorry, popped myself.
Mate, it's apparently a thing. I'm down for it.
I mean, gingers are black. Redheads are now the black people of white people. What the? Yeah. Gingers are now the black people of white people, according to TikTok. In a surprisingly new alliance has formed online after a viral video with over 64 million views dubbed redheads as the black people of white people. Now what? I'm not even... No, this is just fucking insane.
I mean, I'm down for it, but, you know.
TikTok creator Scorpio Telila 1 declared, everyone who is ginger who has red hair, those are black people. All gingers are black people. If they have red hair, they are black. The clip quickly took off on TikTok, opening the viral floodgates to the creation of the confused community. As a ginger, I'm very confused, but I'm happy to be invited to the cookouts. One reason wrote. Wait, is that the way I'm the only one in my family? Sorry. Wait, is that why I'm the only one in my family that can properly season my cooking? Asked another. Orange is the new black, said a third.
That's brilliant. That's that last line there, orange is the new black. I mean,
yeah.
Clever.
I shouldn't have said ginger is the new black. Yeah.
I'm down for it. You know,
I mean, I've got bits of ginger in my beard. I don't have a whole lot of hair, but when my hair's there, it's kind of brown, so I can't get in on that action. What action I could get in on, Ollie, is fucking space aliens, space alien actions.
Fuck it, you're making my bum all pulsate.
I know, it's just fucking for you. So our good old mate, Dr. Stephen Greer, the good doctor.
I've heard he was a brilliant doctor.
Yeah, he's got a new trailer coming out. So I thought we could play the trailer. Apologies if you don't listen to the if you're not watching this over on not Spotify. Fuck me, where are my words today? If you're not listening to us over on Patreon, where you can get the video and all the stuff we do ad free, I apologize. You're going to hear a trailer, but it's only 1 minute 40. But if you want to see the trailer and you want to see what we're talking about, then you can go over, join the Patreon, $5.99 a month. It helps the show out more than you can possibly imagine. There's all sorts of stuff on there. The audio podcast. We're going to do a live monthly hangout. What the next monthly hangout will be coming soon. That's next Saturday, I think it's going to be.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. So we will no doubt plug that during the week for you.
So that's next Saturday, people.
Without
Live.
further ado, no doubt I'll try and sell stuff to you later on in the podcast. Let's listen to Dr. Stephen Greer.
You're either on the side of the law or you're not.
The only way you're going to get to it is somebody at that executive level that says enough is enough, cut the money off, bring these people in, let's go.
This is not to be talked about any further. And if you do, something can happen.
All we need is one to be accurate. And this whole concept of UFO crash retrieval non-existing completely falls apart.
Everybody wants to be in there. Can you give any kind of sneak peek of what that's like?
That organization has had the ability since the 60s to hit a button and simulate an alien attack on the planet using these technologies.
Serious questions that I've made a growing number of drone sightings.
How do you set up a believable false flag and operations that looks like it's alien when it isn't?
So when it happens, they're not shocked, they're not stunned. They can say, oh, we knew this was going to happen.
Which is potentially the most dangerous, where they're talking about, quote unquote, catastrophic disclosure.
They put it into secrecy, they deny, and then they shut the people up.
And the president doesn't know about. That is an existential threat to humanity.
Streaming worldwide on the 24th of June, for those that can't see that on the screen.
That's the Cousins Brothers, isn't it? That's Third Face of the Moon's documentary.
Yeah, I found out about this because I watched Patrick from Vetted. He was talking about it, and he was talking about the quality of AI and the amount of AI that's clearly been used in that trailer. And he said, I don't know how long the Cousin brothers have been doing work for Stephen Greer, but I think he should go back to the people he had before.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm happy for them boys. I mean,
I am as well. I absolutely am.
And we've had them on when we used to do Alien Idea. We've had them on plenty of times.
They were supposed to come on the Daily Conspiracy podcast as well at some point. We should hit them back up about that.
Yeah, just don't tell them about the CGI AI.
No. I look. Hey, that was Patrick, not me.
But the thing is, though, I think that a lot of creators are going to do that when they're making documentaries, because obviously it's a hell of a lot. CGI is expensive. So
just that. Also, even just assets are expensive. You know, like these asset things, like that's the wild thing. We've gone slightly off topic already, but the wild thing about AI is that's a market that's just been completely destroyed. Stock music, stock video, and stock photographs, dead. You want a picture of a desert? Fucking make it. Just make a picture of a desert. Type into Grok, I'd like a picture of a desert, please. And then you could say, in fact, I want a picture of a desert with like 3 cacti. Thank you very much. And it's there. But
I mean, I'll be honest, looking at that trailer, I'm in. I think it's going to be entertaining.
I think it'll be entertaining. I think it's like Patrick, when he spoke about it, said he couldn't understand what it was about watching the trailer. I think it's quite obviously like a Bluebeam-esque documentary.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the way it's going.
I'm interested to see in that documentary, because you saw Blake there interviewing Lou Elizondo on the way out of the
congressional hearings. Yeah.
Yes. I know Stephen Greer and Lou Elizondo do not get on. Lou called him a terrorist.
Yeah, that was really weird. He said he doesn't like.
He doesn't deal with terrorists when Stephen Greer got brought up. Yeah.
But I see. I think that got blown out of proportion. I think that was. Lou Elizondo making a joke in his head that just didn't land.
Well, no, Stephen Greer doesn't like Lou Elizondo.
I know that. But what I mean is, like the whole terrorist thing was really blown out of proportion. Whereas I think it's just a case of like, I don't negotiate with terrorists because of that, like the famous line. I think he's just thrown that out there, and then it was sort of jumped upon about things.
I wish somebody had a follow-up question. I can't remember who. I think it was on Kurt Jamongel's. I can't remember, but I wish there was a follow-up question to why do you call him a terrorist? But yeah, I that is the bit that I'm looking forward to the most, to see. I want to see what, because I like a bit of shit stirring in the industry of UFOs and that. So it'd be interesting to see Stephen Greer, to see what he says about Lou Elizondo.
Yeah, I mean, I like these type of documentaries. I must admit, I wasn't keen on the one which was like a 2-hour advert for his app.
That's most of them.
Yeah, but that one was exceptionally appy. What do you actually think the chances are of a false flag, something like that?
If you'd have asked me this question 5 years ago, I'd have said, I'd probably laughed and went, yeah, it's probably the whole blue bean thing's probably bullshit. I don't know anymore, Lee. I mean, what you were talking about, Nick, last night with the chemtrails, and like when Nick was saying that he doesn't believe it's anything to do with climate change, but he does believe that they are doing something. Maybe that's how they pull it off.
Maybe. See, I still believe that if something like this happens, I don't buy the. I mean, there might be some sort of auditory like hallucinations, auditory projections, things like that. But if you're going to pull something like that off, I think it's going to have to be nuts and bolts, isn't it?
I think you could do a hybrid between the two.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
I mean, if you look at the drone technology now, you see what China's doing when they get all the drones in Unity to like move around and create shapes. If you got that mixed in with holograms, I don't know. Maybe a few explosions. I think you're going to need some for people to get scared. You're going to need some shit to happen, unless they're friendly aliens and selling a friendly idea to you. I just don't see how that's gonna go down.
No. I kind of...
Have you ever seen V? Have you ever seen V? Sorry.
I fucking loved V. The remake, it was so good. Why they cancelled that, I have no idea.
That's another thing that I wonder if they do something like that, where they go over it, like show not a spaceship over everywhere, but like when they were speaking to the different countries in their language.
Well, that is Project Bluebeam. That like the Project Bluebeam. That like the proposed idea of it was you could project a deity over the battlefield, and it would speak to everybody in their individual tongue. No, that was the idea. So like that whole projection thing from V, like literally is Project Bluebeam. I can't help but think that whoever wrote that into the script had like at least come in contact with the Project Bluebeam conspiracy. If not pre-programming.
If they did want all hell to break loose, speak to different countries in their own language and show themselves as their god.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to form, and this is what I think about the. I know I said it on the show last night with Nick as well, about what the guy was talking about on the Weaponized podcast at the very end. What he was talking really did give me new religion vibes. That new new UFO religion. I kind of think people are susceptible to it. Like I think there's a great quote which somebody once asked Albert Einstein if people stopped believing in God, would they believe in nothing? And Einstein said, no, if people stop believing in God, they'll believe in everything. Well, either everything or anything. It was one of the two. I think you found, we're going to talk about COVID a little bit later on with some like vaccine news that's come out. But
just let it go, Lee. It's in the past.
Nope. It's very, very much in people's arms still. The way people jumped on that, and I've never really thought about it before like this. They made that a new religion. The mask wearing was the new rosary bead for a while.
Yeah.
I wonder whether that is an element of this like non-religious world we live in, where the hole is still there to be filled. Like, it's like we are in probably the most like anti-religious, like sacrilegious time in human history. Now, are human beings designed to believe in something? Were we designed to believe in something? Were we even engineered? Like if you go down the ancient astronaut route, what a great way if you wanted to, if like the idea of us being a workforce for something. What a great way to ensure your workers did what you want them to do. Like genetically engineer their minds to need a deity to follow.
What if this has been done before? What if Bluebeam has been done before? You know, we've spoke about breakaway civilizations that was like fucking highly advanced. What if this breakaway civilization, it has done this before? Maybe it's not the fucking government that's going to do this. Maybe it's a breakaway.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said last night on the show. We've had so many religions over the years. At what point did something happen which made people go, this way? This is the new way. The new thing is Christianity. The new thing is like whatever comes next.
I feel like they would have had to pull it off. And this isn't me saying that I don't believe in God or anything like that, because I would like to think over the past 5-6 years I've probably become more religious than I've ever been. Do I know which God to support? No, but I do. I feel there's something there.
I think he very much wants you to pick a team, though. I don't think you can go up there. I don't think you can go up there hedging your bets.
So confusing, though, Lee.
I know it is. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like a questionnaire at the door before you even see a cherub.
I do get a bit of a feeling, you know, though, when I go into church and I see the Jesus on the cross and that, I get like some sort of
bit of a feeling.
Yeah, like I don't know, like a goose pimples.
Oh, okay. Like not an erection.
No, definitely not an erection.
Good.
No.
Good.
No. No erection. That's the thing then. But no, what I was saying, if maybe this has happened before. Maybe this has happened before. But does that mean to say that there isn't a God? That there isn't a creator of all of this? It might be that people have picked a certain path to go down. They did become massively powerful, huge, and then they thought, "Fuck these, we'll use them. We'll use them. We'll be their fucking God." It's like that old that thing, and everybody brings up, why has flat Earth got so much taboo? I don't believe the world's flat. I don't believe NASA.
Don't you?
But
put a percentage on it.
Oh, I'm like 35% of me thinks it's fucking round. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad that number went that direction, because I'd have quibbled it if it was the other.
But that 75%, sorry, not 75, 60, my maths is shit. The 65% of me thinks, you know what? I forgot the percentage one. Forget that percentage, yeah?
Carry the 2.
That percentage that's left thinks that maybe the reason why it's such taboo is maybe there is more land. Maybe it's a bigger fucking planet than what they're saying it is. Maybe there's different. Maybe there fucking is realms, and maybe these elites that the breakaway civilization, maybe they fucked off over the wall, you know, and they're causing all this chaos. Maybe they did show a few deities to these people to get them to do shit. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, what a great way to make a worker race is if you genetically like bake in the fact that they need to search for an overlord, you know, and it makes so much sense. Like, just when you look at how effective the cult of personality is on human beings, you know, like we can. Human beings will do terrible things.
They will. For religion as well.
For religion, for just for politics. You give people a charismatic leader, people will do terrible things. In the same standpoint, if you give people so, because I'd never call like I don't think the left necessarily has like a charismatic leader as such, but what it does have is an infectious message and an infectious self-aggrandizing property to it, which means people, if they fall along with continuing to say like the right thing, they'll feel good about themselves. You know, that's as fucking addictive as any like religion, to fall in and follow that. And those people will do terrible things because terrible things will go on around them, and they will say nothing because they want to be looked at to be doing the right thing.
It really does make me wonder though, like, because how many I don't even know how many religions we have on this planet. But we've got lots of different countries, all different religions. Not pretty much, they all seem to disagree a little bit. Some more than others. This could be totally by design. Let's give them a religion, and they don't. Whatever they do, whatever happens, these countries that are all in this place, yeah, they can't get along with these ones, and these can't get on with these. We turn them all against each other. We create fucking chaos. But for what purpose? Fucked if I know.
Maybe there's 4,000 religions, but obviously there's like
fucking hell.
No, yeah, but I mean, like, we're including fucking Jedi in that and shit like that. There's maybe 6, 7, 9 or 10 like major religions, maybe, I suppose. That's just off the dome, but not the 4,000. That was a proper stat. But yeah.
I mean, let's face it, it's probably a religion for Fortnite.
Probably. I mean, Minecraft appears to be a fucking pretty much a religion. My child is like just at the moment getting very involved in the Pal World religion. But I think we're primed. That's what I was going to say. That's to get us back on topic. Like with the COVID showed me the way people jumped on board with that. If you could make something like you're saying there, like the projection of the space buddies saying, like, we're here, we created you, we genetically modified you as apes, where essentially you're creators. I think there'd be all those people that enjoyed putting masks on, all those people that fell in line would like drop to their knees because they would be given the opportunity to fill the whole of religion while still believing themselves to be not falling for like the mythical magic god, because it's like, yeah, well, no, it's obviously not like a real god. It's like they're just a really old species that's been around in the universe for years, so they can still keep the science head on whilst having a religion. And I think that would be incredibly attractive for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, they would buy straight into that. They would lap it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we're going to touch on this today, but I still can't believe, like, if you're talking about places being completely fucking like wanting to get rid of an entire like people. Like if you look at what's gone on in South Africa, and you saw Donald Trump at that, I can't believe that America took those refugees in, but our country that takes pretty much not even like legal migrants in has not offered any sort of asylum to those farmers. It's fucking beyond me. And you know, people I saw Sky News kicking off and saying, I can't believe Donald. No, I think the headlines were Donald Trump ambushes African Prime Minister. He didn't ambush him. He just showed him what was going on.
He showed him what they've been saying. Yeah, it was wild. and it was an absolute maverick move. Like, you know, that is a fucking balls on the outside of your trousers.
What if he's then to negotiate with America there, and it's like, well, you go, okay, we can negotiations can happen. You need to sort this shit out, though.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, or I think that's what it's been used for. I mean, you saw Trump do the same thing in a similar vein with the UK and free speech, and you know, the way he spoke to Kostama about it. And I don't know if anything's going to change, but they certainly got a pretty decent fucking trade deal out of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change, unfortunately.
No, I don't think it's going to change. I think it's going to get much worse. I mean, we can go straight into this now if you want. So,
yeah,
this afternoon I saw a tweet by the. Do you know the guy that used to be on GB News? He's the priest. He's not on them anymore. Is it Calvin Robertson? Calvin Robertson.
Yes,
sorry.
Yes, I do.
So he wrote a tweet out, which I'll read here. Yesterday it was announced Tommy Robinson is finally getting out of prison. Tommy was charged with contempt of court for releasing a documentary the establishment did not want out there. Today it was announced the Crown Prosecution Service is charging Tommy Robinson with harassment. The truth is, the two men he is accused of harassing are paparazzi who tracked him down on a holiday abroad and doxed his family. Tommy Robinson will also be back in court next year because he refused to give the police the PIN code for his phone. When he failed to incriminate himself, they used the Terrorism Act against him. No one has ever suspected Tommy Robinson of being a terrorist. This is clearly an abuse of power. The establishment really does not want Tommy Robinson free. The lawfare will not end. Tommy is a threat to their approval, to their approved narrative, and they want him removed. I stand with Tommy Robinson. It's pretty fucking wild stuff. So this harassment thing that he's been charged with has been an ongoing thing. So that's something that's been in the pocket while he was in prison. I haven't watched this video, but I believe this is Tommy Robinson is going to explain what happened with the harassment thing. So I'm not even sure whether I think this is new. So let's go.
Let me just do a quick video addressing the journalists. The Daily Mail, as I eat my lamb. Beautiful. The Daily Mail, who sent journalists to the hotel where I was with my children, photographed my family and gave away their location. So yesterday, 3 of their addresses, I got pictures of all of them, okay? And I've contacted them. You need to contact me, because if not, I am going to come, yeah? I don't want to. I've made this clear. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's morally right, and what you've done is totally wrong. You have destroyed a family holiday when I was with my children. So let's get the record straight. I didn't flee the country because of riots. I've left the country before any riots. I held 100,000 people strong peaceful protests. Riots kicked off in Liverpool that were nothing to do with me. Every one of my videos that I've done so far have clearly called for peace and calm. You're just lying. You're trying to throw it on my lap, so are the government. But what you've done with my children, you upset their holiday, you ruined their holiday. Okay? Now you're all saying I fled Cyprus. Okay? Yeah, you've broke up my family holiday. So I want to ask you the question. You come where my children were and you give their location. Is it, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Is it fair that I do that to you? See, I'm not a morally bankrupt wanker. You know I've got images of everyone in your family. You know I know the locations of where you are. Yeah? I'm asking you, is it fair for me to do that? If the answer's no, then stick to a rule book, lads, yeah? You know when I've done my investigation into a 5-part series of Muslim rapists, and I had 3 girls saying they're rapists. Do you know when I find those men? Do you know how many times we had surveillance on them there with their kids or their missus or their mum, and we didn't approach them? And do you know how much that costs when you've got a surveillance team, security team? Do you know we put that, left it, nope, he's with the family, nope, kids are there, nope, Unfortunately, yeah? Because it's nothing to do with those innocent members of the family. Certainly not to be recorded or to leave everlasting damage in their minds when you're confronting people, to ask them questions. Now, you haven't thought about that with my kids, yeah, who have been upset for days now, who you've ruined their whole event. Again, I'll ask you, is it fair? So to the journalists, I'm not on the run, stop lying, yeah? I'm due in court on October 28th and 29th. That's when I'm due in court at the High Court of London. Stick the date in your diary, people. Yeah? That's when I go on trial for freedom of the press, for showing you the truth of how corrupt and how they lie. But to any other journalists, I will find you, yeah? So please think, is it right? If I'm sat, for example, with my mother, and you want to question me about it, is it right to come up and record her in front of my mum? And if it is right, expect me to go to your mum's. Yeah? Daily Mail, please, get in contact. I don't want to have to do this, yeah? I really don't. I don't think it's right. But you have to deal with what you've done. You've doxed, endangered my children. I can show you the hundreds of threats there are now aimed at them and me as a family from your article. You could have wrote your article, you could have blurred everyone else's faces out, and you didn't have to give the location. That's what you could have done. You've purposely done it. So sit your wives down and explain to them what you've fucking done, yeah? Explain to them that if there is a problem, it's because of your immoral behaviour. It's your work, okay? So any other journalists who are thinking about trying to confront me, you do it in front of my kids. I'm coming for you, yeah? And you've set the moral compass and the guidelines there, yeah? You've said, do your job, lads. Go and do your job. Don't photograph my children and don't give the location of where they are and endanger them. Because if you do, then you've set the rules of what's fair game. You have, yeah? And it's wrong. It's totally fucking wrong. I would walk past my biggest enemy in the street. If he's with his kids, I'd keep walking. It's just men's rules. You know, like, to your wives, let them know. To the wives who were photographed yesterday, who know they've been photographed, to your daughters, I ain't sharing that online. I just wanted to give you a peace of mind to think about what you've done to my family, yeah? I'm sure you had some sit-down meetings with your kids. Because it's not nice, is it? It's not nice. Yeah? Don't play stupid fucking games because you'll win stupid prizes, right? So you're on notice. Any journalist, I will find you, yeah? Just act respectfully. You want to question me, question me. Do not give the locations or photograph or do anything in front of my family, right?
So I believe that is the video which they're using to charge him for harassment.
I mean, that was before he went into prison.
That's what I mean. So this harassment case is for something that happened before he went into prison. I find it. I mean, maybe this was bubbling around and no one's been talking about it. Like, as far as in the media, maybe there's people out there that know that this was going on. But you do have to now start thinking that. Is this just...
They want rid of him.
Yeah. Feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think... I mean, I said this, and I think you said... I think you said, no way. It's never going to happen. I could see that man running for Prime Minister one day.
Do you know what? I don't think I want this to happen because I think it'd be fucking absolute chaos. I can fantasy book a way that happens. So you would have, like, I think Sadiq Khan is gonna is gonna become a Labour MP, and it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being the leader of the Labour Party before the next election. I think you could find. If Farage embraces Robinson, which I think would be good for him, his public standing, I think you could find Reform doing the same thing for Tommy Robinson that Labour will do for Sadiq Khan, as in find somewhere where they know he's going to have like a lot of grassroots support, install him into that, make him an MP, get him into politics through Reform. I can see a 2029. Slim chances, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is absolutely going to happen. I can see a 2029 where you have Sadiq Khan, leader of Labour Party, running against Tommy Robinson, leader of Reform.
Well, his life's been pretty much destroyed. He's... I think... I'm not going to... I don't think he's a broken man, but I think he's a man on a mission now.
We don't know now because we haven't seen him.
Well, I watched an interview with a lady that went to see him in prison, and she said that he's aged 5 years.
I think there's an interesting thing here. Like, we've seen politicians. Ed Miliband's brother, I forgot what his first name was.
His surname's Miliband, I think.
Sorry, what his first name was. Thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome.
He left. The guy that was the leader of the. I think he went to work for Facebook or Google, and then the leader of the Liberal Democrats. He left after the coalition with the Tories, and he went to work for one of the big tech companies in the US, because instead of battling away at British politics, he could earn fucking millions working for a company. I don't think Tommy Robinson could go and walk into a fucking like CEO job at Google. But if he just wanted money, if this was all just about the power and the attention and all that sort of stuff, he'd go to America, he'd start a podcast, and he would be a right-wing influencer. And he could do it like that. The presence he has globally, especially in the US, even the West, maybe not globally, especially in the US, given the climate of the US, he could do that. He could start something, just become like an influencer. He could do the same thing he's doing without the risk of going to fucking prison for doing it, because at that point he would just be like a guy. He'd just be another Tim Pool, a Rogan, a Steven Crowder, that type of person. But he doesn't. He's putting himself in the firing line, and I don't understand it. If I'm perfectly honest, I really don't understand it.
I mean, I would like to think he's passionate about his country. And that's it. But the conspiracy person, there's that conspiracy guy inside me that says, that there's a reason for everything.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean,
are we looking at this all playing out in, how it's supposed to play out?
He's been tied to Israel a few times by a few different people. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if he does get his money from Israel. But I wouldn't not believe it. Where we live in the world of like Epstein, where we think there was like an Israeli honey trap where people were going there to shag underage girls in order to get them on side, to get information from them. Like, that's the world we live in now, where there was fuck island for celebrities and politicians and musicians to go to. So the idea that Tommy Robinson might be an asset of a country, it's not beyond the realms. It's not beyond the fucking pale.
No, he did. He addressed that on the Andrew Gold show, which I really like. Just before he went into prison.
Is that Heretic?
Yes,
his podcast. Yeah,
great podcast. I don't think he is. I think he genuinely is a man on a mission.
I think he's.
But there's always that little percentage in me.
There's always you've always got to have that percentage kicking about. My thing is with Robinson, and I've been very critical of him. Just even this year, I've been critical of him, and I definitely think there's elements of him which make it horrendously difficult in the UK just because of our sensibilities and the fact that like as Brits,
just quickly, mate. When I first got introduced to him, I thought, oh, football hooligan, racist.
Yes,
that's what I thought straight away.
Me too.
The more that I saw, like interviews, like people speaking about him who know him, people from all different ethnicity. You know,
I 100%.
Nobody sees him as a racist.
No, I 100% fell for.
Yeah, me too.
Propaganda. Yeah, like 100% fell for the propaganda, and that's the thing. So what my thing always was I would say people like Tommy Robinson make it difficult for people like me to talk about immigration and race because you get branded as a Tommy Robinson. Whereas what I should have been thinking, the people that have created this narrative around Tommy Robinson and created him into this supervillain, they are the ones that have made it difficult for people like me to talk about race and immigration.
Yeah.
And that's where we come to the conspiracy part of this whole thing.
Because it's almost like they needed a Tommy Robinson.
But not just that, there is a they, because like look at the these people that are sending him to that are these paparazzi that are charged him with harassment, work for the Daily Mail. Now, Daily Mail's the right-wing newspaper of the UK, the supposed right-wing newspaper of the UK.
Mm.
So like that's at what point, right? If you've got the most prominent right-wing influencer. And by right wing, I just mean I mean right wing as well. I don't mean like right wing fucking Nazi. And
I thought anybody who's right wing's a Nazi. Is that not a thing?
Probably fair. But but you've got the right wing newspaper of Britain, which is sending people to dox him and his family. That doesn't work. I could take it from The Guardian. The Guardian are a left-wing newspaper. I would expect that type of thing.
You see, I see the anger there as well. I've got 2 kids, and, you know, if that... I mean, I'll be honest, yeah, I wouldn't have the balls to do what Tommy Robinson, but...
It's fucking school sports day o'clock at the minute in the UK. How many times we will sit down to watch school sports day? At some point, be it a head teacher or one of the teachers will say over a tannoy, if you're taking photographs, please don't put them on social media because other people might not want their kids on social media. We do it as a common fucking courtesy not to put kids online, let alone the kids
put
of
them
a
in
man.
the fucking newspapers on the fucking social media.
Yeah, but let alone the kids of a man who is already a target for extremists.
Yes.
So that's, and I'm quite comfortable if someone wants to call Tommy Robinson an extremist, fucking go for it, because I think like when you listen to his argument, he is on the extreme side of that argument, yeah. But on the other side, I would say that the Labour people that are like, you know, diversity is our strength. There's no such thing as a bad immigrant. They are also on the opposite extreme sides. There can be 2 fucking extremes here. But my point is with the extreme thing is that because there are two extremes, he is under risk of like attack from extremists.
Mm.
From, let's be perfectly honest, like, and I'm not saying this about all Muslims, but there are extremist elements to Islam. There are, like we've been. It's one of the reasons why there's been endless wars. One of the reasons why there's been endless wars. One of the reasons why we've had fucking buses blown up in the UK. One of the reasons why we don't have fucking bins anymore in cities is because of the extremist elements of these religions.
And it's mad that hasn't been a concern.
It's been forgotten.
It's mad that it's being forgotten by the extreme left.
It's been forgotten. It's the fact that there was a time where if you went to catch a train in the UK, you couldn't put your bag down and walk away for a second because somebody would have thought you were going to leave a device.
Yeah. It's just fucking common sense.
I think I've told my story, haven't I? Where I found
I don't know if you've
train.
told it on this show.
So I'll try and tell this as concisely and short as possible. I used to be in a band. We used to do lots of playing like all over England, stuff like that. We'd gone to do some gigs in London. We were getting the train back from London to Liverpool, which for our American listeners, long fucking way away. It's about fucking 4 hours on a train. So
they always say, calm down.
Yeah, Liverpool being like a Dockland city, so like you are, like that's kind of the end of the line. Like you're starting in like London Piccadilly, the end of the line would be like Liverpool, and we got on a busy train because we were coming out of London at like fucking 8 o'clock in the morning. There's all the work commuters, so it was really busy for the first 2 stops. 2 stops happened. Few people clear off. 2 seats there. Me and my friend Dan go, we've got fucking seats there. Just jump in the seats. I can still remember this like it was yesterday. He was sat next to the window. I was sat in the aisle seat. And I look down and there's a bag at our feet, like a sports bag. Danny looks down at it and he goes, I fucking don't like stuff like this now. This is in the height of, like, if you see something like there was a whole thing. I forgot what the thing was. It was like if you see something strange, report it. That's the thing. Like we were at a high security risk for terrorist activity. Again, we were finding explosive devices in bombs, and they were sending like bomb squads out to disarm and blow bins up here and there. You know, this was a thing that was happening. I think the Lee Rigby thing was quite close to when that had happened, when the soldier got beheaded outside of his barracks. I'm sure that was close to the time we were away. Anyway, we started going back. I made a joke about it, so it's probably fucking nothing. And there's a piece of paper sticking out the top of it, and there's a few pieces of paper like stuck into like the side pocket of the bag. And Danny picked them up, and before he opened them, I turned around to him and said, "I hope this is fucking boring, like someone's accountancy homework or something like that." And we opened it up, and there was text I couldn't understand because it was in a foreign language. There was a like diagram of what I would consider how to make a bomb, and it was plans to make a bomb. There's no, like, I'm not a munitions expert, but it was fairly detailed drawings of how you would go about this. And then at the back page is what I would describe as a manifesto that talked about the martyrdom and how, like, a sacrifice of one, that type of thing. And that was in English. Obviously, I didn't suddenly fucking learn Arabic or whatever it is within like 10 minutes. So I took these pages straight to the train attendant. He shouted at me and said, "Why didn't you give this to me before we left the thing?" To which point I snapped back at him quite heftily, going, "Well, we'd already started fucking moving. That's why." So we were 2 stops out of London. Like I said, 4-hour train ride. Many stops before we get to Liverpool. We go all the way to Warrington, which is a small station, which is like it's like the if it's not the last stop before you get into Liverpool, it's like there's not many stops as there are. I'm right thinking that, aren't I?
No.
Warrington, yeah. then you're on to Liverpool, and
if memory serves me correct,
yeah, and we're on this train, right, for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. 2.5 hours, non-stop, no stops, missing stops. You can see people are getting confused. There's they say across thing that there's problems with the line, that sort of thing. The attendant had already told us to go and sit back down on top of that fucking bag. I was like, you have got no chance, yes sir. For those that don't know, yes sir is a Manx word, or a Manx phrase from where I come from. And I grabbed the rest of my band, and it was one of those things where it's the weirdest way I've ever thought. Like, sometimes you're out, you think to yourself, like, what would you do in like a moment of crisis or a moment where you're not sure what's going down? And immediately I thought about the metal part of the back of a train, how it's got the small windows in it. And I thought, I need to get all my friends back there, because if the train derails, I know the way we're going to die is if the train derails and we get scraped down the outside of the window, like down the outside of the train.
Mm-hmm.
So we go and we sit. So luckily enough, we were at the front of the train, and we went right to the very back of the train, sort of the metal part at the back, and we sat on the floor, essentially. Sat on the floor and waited.
And cried.
Until it's... my friend's girlfriend was fairly fucking torn up about the whole thing. And yeah, we sat there pretty, and then the doors opened at Warrington. Everybody got off rather confused. I was amazed. Me and Danny, who found the bag, weren't questioned ever, and we then decided we'd get a taxi the rest of the way. but yeah, like that's anyway. Example of terrorism, to be perfectly honest.
And it was never in the news.
It was never in the news. And the wild thing about that was it was in the every other day in the news at the time. Even like things that were... I have since been told by people that like are involved in like the military and stuff in the UK, that the fact we didn't hear anything about it said there's probably something. He said even if it wasn't an armed device, there was probably something pretty fucking suspect in that for it not to make the news, because it's the near misses that don't get on the news.
Right. Yeah. They don't want to advertise that shit.
Yeah, because essentially if you've got some fat guy from the Isle of Man that finds it, there's been a pretty big breach in security and intelligence for me to be the last point of contact to bring to...
Were you ever tempted to like chuck it out the window?
No. That was the last. The first thing. I don't even know like what type of like. I said there was a diagram of how to build something. I don't know if it was like mercury triggered or something. And that was one of the first things I thought was like, don't fucking move it. Like that was the first thing I thought was, if it's mercury triggered. I mean, obviously you're on a fucking train. If it's mercury triggered, it's obviously going off anyway. Of course you'd use a timer. But yeah, one of the scariest things that ever happened to me, and it definitely affected me for a good few months afterwards. And I don't like going on trains. Got to go on a train a couple of months as well. I'd rather not be on a train, but sometimes you got to go on the trains. Don't like flying either. At this point,
I know you don't like flying.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that's my fucking bomb discovery story. But yeah, like I say, it's just as a reminder that we can pretend that everyone's fucking cuddly all we want, but the not so distant past paints a very different picture of how cuddly these people can be. I'm sure that Manchester at the Ariana Grande concert, I'm sure those people don't think that was a particularly cuddly situation.
No. That's it, mate. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the moral of the story is there. Don't forget your past. And just be careful what you're actually letting into the country.
Yeah, I think so.
Which again,
it's not popular to say though, is it? It's not popular to say like that. Some people go to places with bad intentions. It's why we have locks on doors. It makes no sense. I saw a video the other day of somebody that was coming over, that was being filmed coming over on one of these small boats, throwing his IDs into the sea before he got to shore.
Yeah.
Because he wanted a new identity. Why did he want a new identity?
Why would you not? Why would you not? I'd want a new identity. If I could get a new identity now, Lee, I'll have it. I'll take it.
But the thing is, though, you're seeking asylum anyway. So what? Like, what's going on there? Why are we hiding who we were? Because if you're not going to be honest about who you were, I don't want anything to do with what you're going to become.
It's fucking crazy. It's a fucking stupid fucking government that are in charge. Full of stupid fucking people that they are literally just trying to stay in power.
Do you think? Because this is where I think it hits with this podcast.
The longevity of it is in 2029. What if everybody can vote that they've let in? You want to stay here? Vote Labour.
And it's we are rapidly approaching like 2030 as well. The Agenda 2030, Agenda 21 was pushed up to Agenda 2030. These are real proposals for vast social change that you can go and look at. Bill Gates has put a thing out saying that he believes that the aims of the Gates Foundation, because apparently there's a time limit put on the Gates Foundation. I didn't realize this. So it's planned to sunset after him and Melinda died. That's the idea, that the whole foundation would sunset. However, he has come out and said that things are going so well that they're pushing forward their goals, and they'll probably be able to sunset it early. It's almost like whatever the goal of the Gates Foundation is, he wants to see it now.
Yeah, you can't get them Epstein files to fully come out. That case to fully come out.
That's
Gates,
never happened.
Gates needs to finish his plan.
Did you see Did you hear the show that
yes
we did this week with Dan Bongino and Kash Patel?
Well, you didn't have them on, but
no, but with the clip we played where they both said that Jeffrey Epstein definitely killed himself. Honest Gov, promise.
It just
boggles my mind that
the things that we were saying as well. We said, that it's exciting. I remember how excited Dave was that Kash Patel was getting in power.
Yeah. I watched a podcast with him on before he ran, and he was talking the big game. The Dan Bongino is always being like this sort of hyper based podcast host, and
but now all these people that were involved, I mean I don't know if Gates was involved or not, but he definitely had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein at one point. It seems that this is all just disappearing.
So I had text messages when I woke up this morning from friend
Bill
of
Gates.
the show. It's a Bill from friend of the show, Billy Ray Valentine, host of the Infinite Fringe, which he said he hasn't done for a while. I haven't been able to listen to his show because he only has it on Apple, and I don't have an iPhone anymore.
He's got a fucking awesome show.
He hasn't done it for over a year apparently, or not regularly. So he was listening to our show the other day, and he's always been Trump's bad dude. They're a bunch of criminals. You are backing a fucking horse that is just not leaving the stables here. And he messaged me kind of to say, "Fucking told you so." After the show we did talk about this, and he had a really good point. And I wish I had because I can only get his messages on my MacBook, and that's in the other room.
Let's get him on.
I'm going to message.
Know what he's got to say about this.
I'm going to message him about it and see if we can get him on, because if he's not doing shows now, I'd like to get him on as guests now and again, because he's got a really good mind for this sort of stuff, and
a fucking amazing voice as well for podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. But people should hear his voice. He's a great guy. One of my there's a few different shows out there like Rogan, those conspiracy guys, right? And to be deadly serious, the Infinite Fringe is if not third on the list of shows that got me doing this, especially to the level we're doing it, and the amount we're doing it now. It's 100% one of my influence shows. But yeah, he turned around and said, the fact is that if Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are now saying that Epstein killed himself, you've got two options. Either you accept the fact Epstein killed himself, or you accept the fact they're covering for Trump. And I think I can't argue those points. So
I hope not. I hope he's a good guy.
No, do you know what I mean? Though, I can't think of the way around that. That's either he did kill himself in prison, which I really don't think he did, or they're covering for Trump for some reason. So maybe Trump was involved in it.
I mean, this is completely another show for another day. But I mean, Trump did kick Epstein out of all his hotels, didn't he?
He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for hitting on one of the staff. Yeah, and apparently, I believe he bought Mar-a-Lago from underneath his nose as well. Either that was another property. But then again, there's a lot of photographs of them getting on, looking pretty fucking tight.
Okay, say for example, I don't know, your buddy from the pub, you drink with him all the time, great laugh, good guy. You find out, shit, he's just been arrested. What for? He was a nonce. What?
Right.
Do you know what if there will be people that will have been with Epstein that are powerful. There will be some of them that are like, fuck, this is going to come out and people are going to think I was involved in this.
Because let's be honest here, it's not like if it was like a guy that he was very open about what was going on to his surroundings. Like the was it the prime minister? Not prime minister of France. I can't remember who it was. I know it was somebody French. Sent 12-year-old twins over to him for 24 hours for his birthday as a birthday present. The he was running an international child trafficking ring to use as sex slaves. That I'm not being funny. Word gets around when you're doing that shit.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. It's just. It's just a hope that.
Of course, yeah. As I always say, fucking hope defeats despair. Like you have to have hope, and you can't. The battle not to be black-pilled is pretty fucking strong sometimes.
But at the same time, if you're a true conspiracy theorist, you've got to ask yourself that question. No matter how fucking deep you're in, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
no
am I
how,
knobhead? Am I wrong?
Yes. I ask myself that every day. I look in the mirror. Am I a knobhead? The wife usually goes...
Genuinely thought you were going to say, am I a nonce? Every day I look in the mirror and go, am I the nonce?
Well, my wife is quite short, so...
She is quite short, but she's not a child. We were going to get to a clip from the Joe Rogan podcast talk about vaccines, but I think that's probably best left till another day. Do you think?
I
Or do you want to
mean,
do it now?
it's up to you. Do you want to get? You want to?
We can do it. We said it. We said it earlier in the episode, so we'll jab it in quickly. Yeah. So this was a clip from the latest Joe Rogan podcast where they're talking about the death rates of the COVID vaccine, and let's listen to what they're going to say.
Just quickly before you play that, have you noticed that?
Oh yeah.
Every single when they're talking about the COVID vaccine, it's always got a little COVID. It's always the thumbnail always has like somebody holding the vaccine.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. So let's listen. It's only a short 49-second clip.
Sent Jamie this study, VAERS adjusted data, and other derived from the MIT Florida Department of Health study findings that yield a conservative range of 470,000 to 600,000 American deaths from the COVID-19 mRNA shots.
That's it?
More than, well, just that alone. That's a lot of people, man. More than World War I, World War II, and Vietnam combined. If that's true. It indicates Pfizer, this is Pfizer alone, so this is not even Moderna.
Oh, okay.
Pfizer alone likely killed over 470,000 Americans. They found a 36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients versus Moderna.
Yeah, but they saved millions.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. Sent Jamie this...
Wild numbers, Ollie.
How many?
470,000. Pfizer alone.
Has likely killed over 470,000 Americans.
Pfizer. They found a 36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients.
Fucking hell.
Versus Miranda.
And they can't. Am I right here that the pharmaceutical companies, they get no?
They're
backlash?
still indemnified. Yeah, if that's the right word. Yeah.
It's fucking. They need. Donald, you need to bring fucking change that.
There was an I mentioned it yesterday on the podcast. There was a British news report on GB News about this. From a Swedish doctor, I think he was Swedish, saying that the level of DNA contamination in these shots were high enough to consider the recipients of them genetically modified humans. And
my wife had a couple of shots. Everybody thought I was nuts for not having them, but now,
yeah, me too.
She's like, you thought I was nuts.
No. I people thought I was a wrong un for not getting vaccinated.
So like, but now she's like, what? Have you ever seen Alien Resurrection when that guy's got the alien inside him? He's going, "What's inside of me? What's inside of me?" Because somebody tell me what's inside of me. That's what everybody's like.
Not to rehash it, mate. Not to rehash what I said yesterday.
I heard what you said yesterday.
I would be. I'm so fucking sorry for people.
Me too.
That watch like alternative content like us, and have been vaccinated, because there's what I hate is I hate the. Like there was so much vitriol from from people that took the vaccine on people that wouldn't take the vaccine. You know, you're killing fucking grandma. You're putting people at risk. You're doing this. You're doing that. Even though it's like it clearly there was a point. Even like when the vaccine has rolled out and it was like booster time, there was clearly evidence out there that look, this is not the fucking droid you're looking for.
Yeah. I do think. So sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, but I also hate the vitriol from the non-vaxxed people against the vaccine. But, the idea that they're calling people stupid for getting vaccinated, I don't think people are being stupid for being vaccinated. They were
but all three of us, me, you, and Dave, we all Like literally, we talked about it.
I don't think there was at that time. I don't think there was it was an Alien Addict show we did together where we didn't end up talking about that after the show.
Yeah, and are you getting it done? I don't know. Like there was a time when we.
I was saying, I was trying. Look, I've said on this show a multitude of times. I knew that the mother of my child would do it. I knew she was going to do it. I didn't think wasn't sure. Like this is not. I didn't go at the time going, oh, I'm not having that. There was like literally all there was in my head thinking, couldn't have been tested for that long. I didn't know anything about mRNA then. I didn't know anything about the like lipid nanoparticles. I didn't know anything about the spike protein. Like none of that. Like so, it's not like I had the fucking wealth of data and I was running down the road like Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day trying to speak to the president. You know, like I didn't have this shit. But my thought was that if one of my child's parents are going to get this, one of them shouldn't. That was the reason I didn't do it. And the wild thing about it is now, especially when you look, because everyone goes to like heart problems with the vaccine, and the craziest thing when you look at it is there's more people have had kidney problems. Like renal failure after vaccination has been fucking huge, and like I've got a genetic kidney problem. Like from birth, I had quite a severe kidney issue. I genuinely think that would have took me out if I had it. I don't think I'd be here. I think I would have. I think the pre-existing damage I have to my kidneys, I couldn't handle that level of damage to them again.
I will say this, that, and I say this to my wife as well. I think if you're all right now, I think you're gonna be all right. You know, I don't think all of a sudden.
I hope so.
I think if people have,
I'm not gonna lie, Ollie. I'm gonna wreck your day. I think we're literally just at the beginning. I think we're at the beginning of the realization of the mistake that's been made and the repercussions of that mistake. Because we're only just
end on a nice
acknowledging.
note. Don't give me nightmares.
Sorry, buddy. We're only just acknowledging them, you say, and we're still not fully acknowledging them.
Yeah.
But it's slowly, bit by bit, drip by drip, there is more information of this stuff coming out.
So let's just say they bring evidence out, and they just tell the world. Do they go, well, we can fix this. Just take this vaccine.
Yeah, maybe. I see. Do you know there's parts of me? I wonder whether it's a population control. Obviously, I think that it's never far away from my mind to think that it's some sort of control.
Well, they took the Georgia Guidestones out.
Yeah, I think
that
some
had
sort
the
of population reduction. Yeah, the like falling birth rates I think is interesting after the COVID jab. It's been found in ovaries and stuff like that. You know, the spike protein's been found in ovaries. But there's another part of me that thinks this. I don't want to say altruistic end because I still think it's fucking evil. So I'm not going to use the word altruism for it. But when you think of like when you think of the past, especially in England, where there was grave robbers and people were getting paid for digging up fresh corpses so that they could be used in medical schools as Godivers. The medical advancements that we take for granted today only came around because of fucking brutality. So when we talk about vaccines for cancer, I know that's the thing. I'm not an anti-vaccine person. I think like if you're gonna go to India, are you gonna go to India without those fucking like diphtheria and typhoid injections? Is that what you're gonna do? Because I'm fucking certainly not going down that.
I'm ramming them fuckers in my arm.
Right, fucking up my bell end. But the
I mean, you don't have it. That
just to make sure. I just want to get to the important bits first. But what I'm trying to say is that the medical advancements that might have been done with mRNA, with having such a fucking huge sample size, what happens in 20 years? What happens in 20 years when there's a kid with leukemia that's born with leukemia, and they go, we can sort that. We can sort that out right now, actually. We can just use some gene therapy, and we can sort that leukemia right out. Though that kid's parents, aren't going to give a fuck about your vaccine by that point.
I don't think okay. Let's go down that route. Let's go down the morbid route, but I'll bring in a bit of something special into this. So
you always bring the special, Ollie.
Let's say that really people have got 2 years left. Yeah.
Oh fucking hell! Jesus
okay,
Christ,
there's a reason. This is exciting, right? Hear me out here. Okay.
Right, okay.
What if the elites that wanted this done are an alien race, and they've got a ship coming that's going to be here in 2027, and they need us weak as fuck because there's not enough of them to take over on this big, massive alien ship. But if they weaken us down, they destroy men and are masculine. They destroy that. They turn us all against each other. They create a war, and the ones that might get left alone, they've all been vaccinated. They'll be dead by 2027. Then the aliens land, and it's like, we're home, boys. We did it. The plan. I've just thought of a fucking great fucking movie there.
Do you know, I've always wondered, what if violence isn't intrinsic to any other species apart from humans, and that's why we're left alone?
That would explain why they stayed.
Like what if we're the only violent species? We're the Klingons in this situation, and it's because of the amount, like maybe it's the amount of species that are on this planet. Maybe it's the cataclysms that have been through that have just bred this fucking psychopathic creature. And it could be as simple as not being able to see color. Like when someone's colorblind to a certain color, and you can turn around to somebody and say, "No, it's fucking purple." And they're like, "No, that's green." Maybe that's what violence is to other races. We'd be going, no. Like what you do is you just pick up this big fucking rock and you find who you don't want to be here anymore, and you just keep hitting them with it till they stop making noise. And that is so alien to other races that they can't actually comprehend the physical act of violence.
Do you remember in Stanley Kubrick's 2001: Space Odyssey, the first scene where the ape finds the weapon?
Yes,
which is a bone, and he kills his mate. And he was telling us about aliens and stuff in that. Well, maybe he told us then what it is.
You could make an argument for it. So, let's say that there is, let's say that the Earth has this really weird thing, like I say, which means like we've got loads of other creatures and stuff like that. What if life is more stable and less diverse on other planets? So if you've got, say, let's say life evolves on other planets to more suit its environment. So you maybe every other planet's vegan, for instance. Maybe that's what's
just
done.
about to ask you that.
Yeah, maybe we're the only ones that eat meat. It would make sense that if you don't have to struggle, you don't have to fight. So
are you telling me that the vegans are right?
No, I'm saying that we could beat the fuck out of most of them.
Yeah. Saying that, I've never met a right vegan.
No. I've never met one with any testosterone. So that's apart from the ladies. Some of the ladies I think have got some testosterone. But anyway, let's fucking sunset this bitch and move off into the weekend where we'll be back on Sunday as normal.
Yes.
Just like another fucking beautiful day. Thank you very much for listening. If you got this far on the podcast, as I said earlier on, in a ham-fisted way, please go and subscribe to the Patreon. Follow us at The Daily Con Pod on most of the socials. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X. We don't do Blue Sky. We do have a Threads. I don't know who uses Threads anymore. I don't think there's any real people on there, but there is a Threads there. There are ways and means to get in touch with us. The best ways, if you want to send a DM to us, are either X or Instagram. Those are the two. I 100% will see them. Instagram probably better than X, to be perfectly honest, because we get less spam on Instagram than we do X. X is pretty fucking heavy for like the amount of people that have wanted to give me 6 million Bitcoin this week is incredible. Like,
Did you accept any of them?
Oh, every single one. I cannot stop people giving me Bitcoin. All I need to do is give them my crypto wallet as well. Apparently, they're just going to put it in there. Like, they have to take a small amount first, like for transaction fees. But it's all going to go in there, and I'm going to be rich.
See, I'm easy. If I was running the Twitter, the X, just send me a picture of a naked animal. I'm
yeah,
good.
he is clicking that. He's clicking that all day long and all night long, and then in the morning twice. But yeah, so you can come and follow us on the socials. We have a merch store in the description of this podcast. You can go buy some merch from us. Yeah, all those nice things. Other than that, we will see you on Sunday. Ciao.
For now.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claimed to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One giant leap for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.